Well, hello, welcome to our broadcast. And for a little while, we're going to talk to you. Hope you enjoy what we're doing on this Friday, the 31st of July, 2020. Coming to you from Australia. And I hope you, wherever you are, whatever the time is, 4:30 Australian Eastern Time. So wherever you are, if you're in California, we're about 17 hours behind us, or 15, no, 17 hours behind us. So you just have to calculate. It's probably around about getting around breakfast time, I suppose. Anyway, a very good morning to anyone listening in California or Vancouver or Vancouver and Washington State, Portland, Seattle, and of course our friends in New York, where you have been having a lot of problems with the coronavirus. And of course now the big emphasis, Indiana and South Carolina and Florida, all having had problems with, well, really serious problems with coronavirus. 150,000 people in the United States of America, or maybe over that now, have passed away. And so that seems to be a very big figure. Although here in Australia, we are having problems with coronavirus as well. And of course, that's in Victoria, which is south of New South Wales, and Victoria and Melbourne, the Melbourne metropolitan area, and Mitchell County is all locked down. In fact, all of Victoria is now in a lockdown situation, and they had 627 cases of coronavirus here at midday today. And now it's 29 minutes to 5. And we, as I said, looking forward to a great weekend. If you are, but of course you have to be very, very careful and take notice of what the authorities say, and stay 1.5 meters away from other people. I know it's a very hard thing to do, especially in a shopping centre, and they crowd around other people, and that, of course, cause the spread of the virus. But here in Australia, well, as I say, it's not as bad as the United States of America and some of the European countries as well. India as well is in a bad way. Indonesia is also in a bad way. Countries like the Middle East, countries like I can't think of them, Israel, and also having problems with coronavirus. The problems in Australia with the disease, it started here in the 23rd of March 2020, when the federal government more or less locked the country down. Well, they didn't lock it down properly. And that was their mistake. They let the states do what they wanted to do. In other words, some states did lock them down, but others didn't so much. The situation was that what happened was they threw a lot of people out of work. They closed all the hotels, the pubs, all the hotels and clubs, couldn't go to church, couldn't go to any function. He couldn't have more than about um, regular people in the house, and well, of course, you couldn't have any rowdy parties or anything like that. That was something that was something that was going on here in Australia and particularly in New South Wales. Well, um, they certainly, the government of Australia, have a lot to answer for. Now, um, in the case of Victoria, everybody is stacking the blame onto um, Mr. Daniel Andrews, who is the Premier of the state. Now, they're blaming him for what's happened because of the quarantine situations. That was a situation that should have been looked after by the federal government. The federal government of Australia handles all airports and seaports. And to come into the country, you have to go through customs if you want to get into the country. So I don't know how the spread of coronavirus has been able to spread in this country, and I can only put it down to the fact that the federal government of Australia, under the uh, prime ministership of Mr. Scott Morrison and Mr. Peter Dutton, who are the cause of the problems. Both of those gentlemen are responsible for the spread of the disease in the first place. They didn't shut the airports down. They didn't shut the seaports down, and so people were stripping in. Uh, like I don't know how like an incident in Queensland. Queensland's three young people were able to get into Queensland without any. They gave false information to the border patrol, um, and uh, and uh, and these people have been down to Melbourne, and they were suffering from coronavirus, and um, it caused it's now caused a situation which could spread here into New South Wales and into Queensland. So, Mr. Dutton and Mr. Morrison, you are responsible for this problem. You didn't shut the ports down. You didn't stop the plane. Shut them all down, and this way they would not be having the problem with coronavirus in Australia. It's the only country in the world where it's an island country, and the Prime Minister has a lot to answer for these problems. Anyway, that's my little beef for the day. I might play a bit of music now, so see if we can play a little bit. The Gloria Estefan cuts both ways. Oh, yes, that's cut both ways from Gloria Estefan. And there, our little rant on the radio. And as I say, we're broadcasting live from Australia. And hope you're enjoying what we're talking about. Talking about the situation with the coronavirus. 627 people in Victoria have, as I said, diagnosed with coronavirus. And I just reading in the news before coming to air that a lot of people in Victoria do not want to isolate. They've got the disease and they're going out shopping and doing other things that they shouldn't be doing. They should be at home and isolating for 2 weeks. That's the only way you can control the disease. It's never people are not going to get hold of the coronavirus. It's never going to go away. Of course, it will go away if they find somebody to get an antivirus. But of course, the federal government here in Australia, led by Mr. Morrison and Mr. Dutton, are not doing their job, and they should be ashamed of themselves. And I don't think that anyone would be very happy with the way the Prime Minister of Australia is running this country. Anyone who's saying that he's doing a good job, I can't see what he's done. Perhaps he may have given a bit of money to the poor old pensioners. So we've got pensioners got received $1,500 in 2 instalments, but he needs to put some more into that. He needs to give more people a chance to get back to work, and perhaps put them on the building of the the railway, the Melbourne Railway, perhaps rounding all the people up who are out of work and put them on those projects that have to be done. Electrifying the railway system between Brisbane and Adelaide, and getting rid of diesel locomotives. They don't watch. This government is so stupid. They don't seem to have any brains. I mean, I have a feeling that China is after Singapore and wants to invade Singapore. Now, if they invade Singapore, that's the end of our oil supply here in Australia, because all our oil and petrol comes from Singapore. So we have, everybody's against coal, but we have an abundance of coal here, and we would be able to make use of it to build coal-fired stations. I suppose that's what they're doing. Everybody said, "Oh no, we've got to get rid of it." But you've got to look at the point. This country depends on the Middle Eastern countries for their fuel, and Singapore as well. And if China decided to have a slice of these countries over there, goodbye nurse. For as far as Australia, we'd be in big trouble. Wouldn't be able to drive. No one would be able to drive any cars and buses. We'd be in very big trouble. And so everybody should think very carefully about the situation as far as fuel is concerned, because with the coronavirus and China spreading its tentacles here, there, and everywhere, I have a warning to people: watch out for China. They certainly have plans for most of Asia. Um, Everybody said in 1963, when Vietnam was carrying on, and they had the Vietnamese War, and the Americans, of course, got themselves involved in that. And then, of course, Menzies and Harold Holt put Australian forces into the Vietnamese War, and many of our soldiers were only 19 years of age in those years, and they were sent over there to fight the Vietnamese. And so a lot of our Australian soldiers, young people, came back from different diseases caused by um, gases and other the poison gases that the Americans were spraying the jungles of Vietnam, and of course, consequently, we were involved in a war there. And if it wasn't for the Whitlam government in 1972, that war was probably we would still be there, you know. Um, and of course, in 2009, in the after the plane bombing in the bombs of the towers in New York in 2001. Of course, George W. Bush called for the Australian government to commit forces to the Middle East, and consequently, we were involved in another war that was none of our business. And we shouldn't be just following the wishes of America when it's no reason for that to be involved. I don't like seeing our country involved in plans to have wars in countries that have no concern to us, and they weren't trying to. Of course, it was involved with uh, um, the weapons, the no weapons situation, and and that was just something that the Americans wanted to do, have a war with somebody. Well, I know America loves doing that. They love being involved in wars. It doesn't have. They don't have to involve other countries. Other countries shouldn't have to be helping America to fight wars that are not necessary. If America wants to have a war with somebody, let them do it. Don't force other countries into it. It's none of our business. We are an island country. We don't want to be involved in wars. That's what I think. And now a little thing I want to talk about afterwards about the more things about the government. But I have a little track to play in just a moment, and one that I like, and I'm going to play that in just a moment. It's from Bill and Boyd, and of course, it's Santa Never Made It into Darwin, and that's coming up in about 18 seconds. So stay with us here on Old Time Radio 2CM Newcastle, the music of your life, and we hope you are enjoying my little chit chat for today, Friday, the 31st of July 2020. That's yeah, yeah. Well, that's not good. Yes, they were. Santa never made it into Darwin from Bill and Boyd. That was a big hit for them in 1975, 76. Of course, that was a tribute to the Darwin disaster in early 19 Christmas 74. And Christmas 74, the cyclone Tracy came to Darwin and destroyed it. That was the song that they put out for a tribute to the Cyclone Tracy in Christmas 1974. That was just before the cyclone occurred, just before Australia got colour television. We got colour television in March 1975. Gee, some of the things, that was a good thing that Mr. Gough Whitlam, who was the Prime Minister of Australia at that time, did put colour television on. He got rid of national service and did some great things for this country. But then, of course, Sir John Kerr came along and on November the 11th, 1975, sacked the proper Prime Minister and decided that he wanted a federal election. So that was the Governor General at the time, Sir John Kerr, and of course, and he paid the price anyway. He died a very, very lonely man, Sir John Kerr, after what he did to the Prime Minister. One day soon. Bye bye.